twins. Love that for us. Do I really love that for us? Not particularly. Hi, this is Cass from Aussie Cass Plays, and welcome back to the royal generation of my Medieval Legacy Challenge, where we are in a house with 3 Sims instead of 4. As you guys will have seen from the machinima that I posted, King Gregory was assassinated, murder most foul, by Vlad and his wife Teresa. So he and Byron, who was the head of the Night Order, went out. They were doing a tour of the estates, got caught out by a storm, hid in some ruins, and Vlad and Teresa located him. If you're wondering from a gameplay point of view why poor Gregory had to die, these guys are both adults now, and for us to start the challenge proper where Edward is the king, Edward needs to be the king for the royal generation. So Gregory had to go. I'm sorry, it's very sad. I did like him as a sim, he was a good egg. Why are we in the servants' quarters? That is so strange. Oh, you've rolled over onto your back. And now we're walking away and leaving the baby on the floor. So, obviously these guys are both very sad. Princess Lily isn't, because she didn't really know the king. If he was like a direct ancestor, I think she'd be sad because it'd be her grandparent. But because he was a great uncle to her, I guess the game doesn't automatically apply the mourning mood, which is fair. She's an infant. She wouldn't have that awareness, I guess. Fiona is in her 2nd trimester. Obviously, it's exciting. There's another baby on the way, but the kingdom is mourning. Like, the entire kingdom is mourning right now. They haven't been crowned yet. Like, the coronation hasn't occurred. I don't really know how I could do a coronation in The Sims 4, to be honest with you. But the way, I didn't know this until Queen Elizabeth died, but the way it works is they become king automatically, or she became queen consort automatically. The coronation is like the ceremony that confirms that. Yeah, you guys could be jokesters. He's king as soon as the previous king dies. Oh, what's the matter, baby? Now you're in the kitchen. This baby's just getting dropped everywhere. Maybe I could get Fiona to put her away. The nanny and the butler are just like, where's the baby now? Now that she's an infant, especially because there is a new baby coming, I might actually move her into the nursery. The other thing I haven't done yet that I should organize, these guys will be moving up to the king's suite, which is up here, which is actually good because all of the like kids' bedrooms and stuff are up here as well. So I'm going to put her down in here for now. Before the adults go to bed, I might look at rearranging things a bit. I want to move all of the pictures because the pictures would belong, like Edward would take them with him. I don't know that there's much else. Oh, that was a childhood toy. These were childhood toys. I might have him take those upstairs. Oh my gosh, so many tears. Hates wake up time, gassy and happy spitter. Look, it could be worse. None of those are great, but it could be worse. So Edward's been doing some contemplating about how basically to get revenge on the vampires, specifically obviously Vlad and Teresa. It's partly because they've obviously taken his uncle from him, who he loved very much. In fact, that's probably most of it. But also they've undermined the faith of the citizens of Windenburg in their leadership because Gregory was able to be killed. How can you put faith in the knighthood to keep you safe when a member of the knighthood was there? So he's trying to think of things he can do, and he's decided that he's going to send for Desiree to basically kind of get her advice. So I have, in the meantime, moved everything for Edward and Fiona up to, yeah, you're also sick, up to the king's suite. The baby's currently still asleep in what was Fiona's suite, but she can stay there until she wakes up. I'm not waking up a sleeping baby. And I know if I move the bed, obviously that'll be a problem. Up on this floor where the throne room is, the like private chapel and everything, this is the king's room, or the king and queen's room. I've moved the pictures up, but we have a few bedrooms. So there's the nursery here, so I'll put Lily in there. We've got other bedrooms as well. This is currently a private study. They have to have 5 kids, so I'm not sure where we're going to put them all, to be perfectly honest. There's another one here. These are bedrooms that we've used as guest rooms in the past. There's another one here as well. And then once Lily's older and an heir if they have a son, or Lily will be the heir if they never do. But we've got a couple of bigger suites down here which older kids could go into, so that's obviously the room Edward was in before. Who's crying? Oh, it's probably Poppy. I heard that. That was so sad. Obviously Poppy and Byron were in a relationship of sorts. That's also why I had their son Fitzroy, because the two of them had a bastard son. That's why he was also at the ceremony mourning, like in the chapel and stuff, because I thought Edward's not going to deny Fitzroy the ability to be part of the funeral service. That also includes his own father. So I assume Desiree's arrived. This house is so massive. I mean, how would you know? I do love this focus the camera setting. Oh, are you crying too? Why are you sad? Was it you that was crying? Did she make friends? She must have made friends with Gregory. I'm going to get Fiona to actually go to bed, I think. Obviously, she's offering her condolences to the king for the death of the former king. She's clearly very upset and shaken, and he's saying, you know, this has obviously been very hard for everybody. And he's saying, so there's two things I wanted to ask you. The first thing is I wanted to find out from you what your people think of the vampires. And she's like, you know, I'm from Windenburg. You know what my people think. It's like, no, I mean those of a magical inclination. And she's like, oh, you mean the spellcasters? And he says yes. And she says there's long-standing animosity between spellcasters and not necessarily all of the vampires, because not all vampires are the same, but definitely King Stroud and his wife are extremely disliked, not just by the spellcasters, but by anyone of a more supernatural inclination. Even the other vampires hate Stroud. They think he's a tyrant because he is a tyrant. And this is all news to Edward, because he's sort of been thinking of vampires as a monolith, and he's saying, well, do you know what the opinion of the other vampires is towards Windenburg? And she's saying, well, the ones I've had encounters with in the past, the only issue they have with Windenburg is the fact Windenburg is invading the Forgotten Kingdom. It's forced them to work with Stroud to protect themselves, which is something, again, Edward hadn't considered, was that the war was actually making the vampires have to unite to protect themselves. There were divisions in the vampire kingdom that could have been exploited, but by going to war, they've actually united their enemies. Well, their enemies have found allies, I guess, would be one way of saying it. Aww. They're getting sentiments and stuff. So this has obviously given him a lot of food for thought. And the fact that all of the other occults hate Vlad is something he could exploit as well, if he can figure out how to end the war. As much as he wants to see Vlad burn, his main priority is stopping the war, because troops at Windenburg, soldiers are dying. So that's his main priority. The other thing he's going to ask is if Desiree would be willing to accept a position in the palace. And she's saying, what kind of position? And he's saying the head stewardess? Is that what they call them? Like the head of the staff. So in charge of the maids and then, you know, cooks and nannies and blah, blah, blah. Basically everything that isn't military. He has seen firsthand her ability to use magic to protect, because she protected him when he was attacked. And he's afraid. He's afraid for his wife and he's afraid for his daughter. Obviously, Byron, even though he was a mighty warrior, wasn't sufficient. And he believes Desiree would have the power, she's talking about vampires, would have the power to protect the family in a way that, as much as he values James couldn't do. Oh, we're going to cry and baby up here. I'm going to actually wake up Fiona, as much as I'm sorry about that, Fiona. But your monkey needs you. All right, let's come down here. So we will obviously feed her first. And we'll change her, and then we will also give her a bath. Would they? No, as much as I usually just go for the bubble bath with infants, they wouldn't have access to bubbles. We should live together. Can I move in with you? That's a tops idea, Desiree. Let's do that. Why didn't I think of that? Now, Desiree's adoptive daughter is going to stay in the house that she's in. I'm not bringing any money because that would be cheating. That's so hilarious. So we have little Desiree as well. Now, she is a spellcaster. She's quite an advanced spellcaster. She's a virtuoso. And in terms of the actual spells she has, she's got a whole bunch of practical spells here. Home Wardial she doesn't have, that's unfortunate. But Copy Pasto, brilliant spell for it's basically cheat code for The Sims 4. And she has a lot of alchemy and a bunch of untamed magic. That's interesting. Inferniate, Zipzap, Necrocore, Chilio, Minionize, De-Deathify. We could resurrect the king. We're not going to. I actually released all their spirits. This is not something I can imagine us using. The only exception is if Edward died and we had not finished this challenge, I would use this spell, because that would mean we could continue the series. If he died before he'd had 5 kids and completed his aspiration and all the rest of it, that would be a problem. And let's have a look at alchemy. Good fortune, plentiful needs, nausea, nimble mind, magical aura, alluring aura, emotional stability. Now, she's not going to have any of these ingredients on her. I don't know what was in her inventory. We'll have a look. Perk purging, forced friendship, masterful insults, and rejuvenation. This really makes me want to play like an evil spellcaster, to be honest with you. Maybe I'll do that. Let me know if you want me to do that one day. I think that sounds like a lot of fun. Now, we'll have a quick look at her inventory. She has the all-revealing selfie mystery book, a really, really old caprese salad, which I'm gonna just pop here. Oh, that's probably how I was getting around not having the potion ingredients, because she has duplicato. We could just pop this down and duplicate it, and then you never need to make the potion. Oh, and it's the painting Vivienne did of her. I'm so glad that's in her inventory. I might let these guys, take care of their needs and go to bed, and then I'll catch up with you guys in the morning. I think Lily might be broken, you guys. She's actually feeling happy right now, but look at her little face. She's leaking. Maybe she's got some kind of terrible allergy. Look, she's happy. She's well cared for. So I've put her in the nursery here. They don't have the mobile on this bed, but I also figured they wouldn't have an electric music playing mobile. I mean, I could say, did I say in the previous generation that they had like a music box and I let them use it? I can't actually remember. It could be an actual wind-up music box, I suppose. I mean, it doesn't hurt to have it on there. It's a cute decoration, if nothing else. If you think I'm okay to use it, let me know. But yeah, I don't know why Lily's face is leaking. It's definitely a thing that's happening. It's fine. I love that she's just stomping around in her undergarments. She's like, what? I'm the queen. If you have a problem with it, deal. Oh, that's so cute. Gloria came and gave the princess a nap. I didn't even tell her to do that. She wasn't even complaining she was tired yet. That's actually super adorable. I think Desiree would be contemplating what she could do, if anything, to help Edward with his request to try and reach out to other occults. What Edward's thinking as well, and he's suggested this to her, is that if he could build an alliance of all of the occult types together, because the problem is that Windenburg is an almost exclusively human kingdom. That's why they're having so many issues, because they're going up against not just the vampires, but also their human thralls. That's who the bulk of the combat's actually been against. It's not against vampires, it's against human blood slaves and things like that. So the most obvious person to reach out to is Bartholomew. But Bartholomew's obviously had a huge falling out with, well, speaking of which, fox wandering through again. Bartholomew has obviously had a huge falling out with his brother and the crown because of the whole let's run off and marry the nun princess. Emily was declared dead by Gregory. Should he finally like cello? I mean, you've been playing the cello for a long time now, so finally is probably actually the right word. My Sims are wandering around in their PJs at the moment. When they're mourning, it seems super harsh to be like, put some clothes on. So Desiree's decided she's going to write first off to Tiana. Tiana, you may remember, is the maid, like the current butler / maid of the Ward estate, because she figures if anybody would still be in touch with Bartholomew or have the capacity to get in touch with Bartholomew, there's a couple of Sims. There's obviously Willow, who she does have some correspondence with. There's also Tiana and Gabriel specifically. Is Gabriel still in touch with Bartholomew? She knows that Willow has come to Gabriel a couple of times and passed on messages. Like the fact that they had a child, that kind of thing. So, Oh, honey. I'm pretty sure it is Gregory that she's mourning. I didn't realize they got to be so close. They really only had one conversation, but also she's about to get over it. So yes, she's going to write to Tiana. She probably also wants to reach out to Willow, but she's a lot harder to get in touch with because she lives in a woodcutter's cottage in the middle of the woods in the Fey forests. That's someone you'd have to actually go to. Oh, baby, you're crying. She's still crying. Just tears on tears on tears. It is very sad. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do for the rest of this part, Fiona's actually 3 hours to her third trimester. So she'll probably give birth on Sunday. I might have Edward maybe make some donations to cover an increased war effort. Maybe we'll invite Emmanuel over. I'll give him some money. And then I'm actually going to skip ahead because I would like to see, meet Fiona's baby. We'll see if it's a boy or not. Whether poor Princess Lily is about to be replaced as the heir. Or whether, if it's a girl, maybe she's not. Emmanuel, I imagine, is him. It'd be him or... what's the other knight's name? I think Emmanuel's probably the head because Ratcliffe was the one that was the head master of the hounds. And Emmanuel was next after Byron, kind of in the hierarchy. So he's probably the new. Don't you sit on my throne. Oi! Don't you sit on my throne. That's very disrespectful. So I've got him firing him up. He's giving him an inspirational speech. And then I was going to give him some money. So this is a 10,000 simoleon gift, which is money for an additional... Sit. Quick. There we go. I was wondering why I hadn't got up yet. I'm like, what's happening? So I was going to have them they're discussing war strategy and that kind of thing. My plan now is, like I said, I'm going to kind of skip ahead. Oh, roll over to tummy milestone unlocked. I'll catch you guys up if anything interesting happens in the meantime. But I thought that we would see the baby in this part because I'm dead curious. Galahad's also contacted us to ask for a donation to charity. Galahad is the head knight in Henford-on-Bagley, so this is probably for the Finchwick barracks specifically. We will obviously make that donation. Princess Lily learned to creep, you guys. Also, you guys will be pleased to know I reset Lily and the perennial tears went away. I don't know why Gloria is standing on top of her. That's just a thing that's happening. Thank you, Gloria, for not standing on top of the crown princess. You very disrespectful sim. Yay! Look at that. What a good girl. So I was wrong, you guys. I thought she'd go into labour on Sunday, but she's gone into labour at 4 p.m. Saturday afternoon. I bought her a meditation stool because she's on this aspiration. Practicing mindfulness, you have to do yoga or meditating, and I couldn't see her doing yoga. Baby's asleep, which is good. She is getting hungry, which is less good. She's also gassy, but that's fine. We'll let her sleep through it. So I thought she'd basically spend a little bit of time trying to stay calm during the labour, because I would like to see Fiona kind of move more towards being calmer. Whether in the long run we let her change that high maintenance trait, I wouldn't do that without you guys saying that you thought it was a good idea. But I figured, this at least is starting her on that path. Could he practice sparring with James? We'll have James keep him busy. Oh, she's so tired. I'm sorry. I did have her she was actually having a nap when she went into labour. Yes. Go king. Literal actual king, you go. I'm hoping she makes it to the bassinet. Oh, cool. One of the good things about this gen is I just leave this stuff and then hope someone will come repair it. Oh, she's decided to go back to bed. I love that for us. Gloria would be the midwife for this, like she was for the previous baby. So we're going to go to this room and then hopefully they'll actually bring Gloria. Now, you may have noticed, I may have looked, but I didn't want, if she hypothetically were pregnant with twins, I didn't want the second baby to be in an ugly crib. Foreshadowing? Maybe. I do actually have a third bassinet in the household inventory. I had 3. There's not enough room in the house now for 3 kids. All right. She's given birth to a baby girl. Now, I thought, as an appeasement of the Kingdom of Brindleton, that we'd actually name this after the Crown Princess, who is obviously Fiona's older sister. We're going to call this baby Princess Rhea. Naming, especially in royalty, but in general, naming kids after ancestors is reasonably common. And in this case, I actually think it works. And yes, she's pregnant with another girl. Now, I did not cheat this. It does mean Lily is still the Crown Princess, And I love that for her. It means she's only got 2 more siblings to get through. And if they're all girls too, a 25% chance, she could actually end up being the heir, which I would love. I would love for Lily to inherit, but it's also possible that baby 4 or 5 could be a boy. So for this name, I was thinking Sarah, Princess Sarah Whitlock. So, you know, twins. Love that for us. Do I really love that for us? Not particularly, but it's happening. It is what it is. Now, can I quickly get them changed? She's only got one onesie on her. The other onesie is with Edward. Yimbala Taringu, that's right. Absolutely. So yes, twins. 3 girls. Gloria, you're going to be very busy. I am horrified that they had twins. Twin infants is the pits. But I'm imagining, because in Restaurant to Riches, we had twins. And that was awful because I was trying to run a restaurant. It was terrible. But I'm thinking Raya and Edward are going to have an easier experience if I can stay on top of the glitches. Because we've got a nanny. I've got Desiree here as well. It's fine. This will be fine. I'm sure it's fine. So I'm going to leave this part here. I hope you like the baby names. I'm not going to have them try for baby anytime soon. I think I want these 2 to be toddlers before they get pregnant again, if I can swing it. But also I realise that I may not have any control over the situation. Are you coming, Edward? Anyway, if you've enjoyed, please like and subscribe. You know the drill. Don't forget to wash your hands, and I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching.